President Donald Trump's first address to Congress since returning to office was both a celebration of his early achievements and a strong defense of his rapid policy changes. In just 43 days, his administration has implemented sweeping measures on tariffs, government restructuring, and foreign affairs, moves that have drawn sharp criticism from Democrats and even skepticism from some Republicans. His speech aimed to justify these decisions but also took on a combative tone, attacking his opponents, criticizing his predecessor, and reviving old grievances. Clocking in at nearly an hour and 40 minutes, Trump's address became the longest of its kind in modern history and one of the most partisan. Rather than calling for unity, he focused on his election victory, condemned Democrats for opposing his agenda, and expressed frustration that they refused to acknowledge his accomplishments. "There is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy," he remarked, dismissing their resistance as inevitable. The tension in the room escalated when Democratic Representative Al Green repeatedly interrupted the speech before being removed by the Sergeant-at-Arms on orders from House Speaker Mike Johnson. Other Democrats held up protest signs or walked out, despite calls from their leadership to remain composed. But Trump did little to ease the divide, frequently targeting Democrats and referring to them as radical left-wing lunatics. He even reignited past controversies by using his infamous Pocahontas nickname for Senator Elizabeth Warren. Throughout his speech, Trump leaned heavily into cultural issues that energize his base, vowing to eliminate wokeness from schools, the military, and society at large. He criticized affirmative action, promoted his rollbacks on transgender rights and diversity initiatives, and framed these actions as part of what he called a common-sense revolution. The First Lady's guest box was filled with individuals meant to reinforce his points: female athletes, parents of children killed by undocumented immigrants, and a mother who claimed her child had been secretly socially transitioned at school. Rather than seeking bipartisan support, Trump's rhetoric underscored his continued campaign-style approach, despite already being in office. His administration has moved swiftly, with experienced officials helping him push through executive actions at an unprecedented pace. However, public opinion remains divided, with polls suggesting many Americans are still trying to process the whirlwind of changes. The speech also featured a notable mention of billionaire Elon Musk, who is leading Trump's government efficiency initiative. "He's working very hard. He didn't need this," Trump said, taking a jab at Democrats by implying even they appreciated Musk's work, but refused to admit it. He went on to highlight spending cuts made by Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, labeling certain programs as fraudulent. However, some of his claims, including allegations of Social Security benefits being paid to deceased individuals, have been widely disputed. In response, some Democrats in the audience held up signs reading "Musk steals," signaling their disapproval of his role in government restructuring. But rather than focusing on substantive budget savings, Trump's remarks seemed more geared toward reinforcing his broader message of cutting what he views as wasteful government spending. With this address, Trump made it clear that he has no intention of softening his stance or seeking middle ground. Instead, he doubled down on the policies and rhetoric that have defined his presidency, setting the stage for continued political clashes in the months ahead.